Okay, so another video, same story, just different moments. Um, they're gonna obviously do the pedophilia type of torture. I'm gonna purposely make the same videos because it's gonna show the pattern of what they've been doing. You see that a group of people there. It's funny they would even try to make something funny, saying a word that I've never used in that context, but not using in their version of things. They create a new version of reality. They create their fashion of putting things together in order to make you look like something else. That's what they do. Is their job is to break you down and re-put you together in a different fashion, put a different version of reality, nonstop. You see a group of people there, uh, and they've been cranking up my libido all through the nights and day. And so what happened is my libido is extremely like increased. Now these people, like there's the woman whose profile you see here. She's a very good looking woman, and so it's okay. But I know the reason why I'm feeling the stimulations is because all through the night they've been stimulating me and cranking up my libido. I feel my libido being cranked up, and so everything is extra. Like I will not have this extra stimulation toward, like, this is just too much. Like I'm getting extra stimulation because all through the night they do this thing where they crank up your libido. It's not stuff. And the reason why they do that is because then they aim it toward children and make me think of children, so they can control this libido towards children. They train your brain like that. It's nasty. I just made a video about the back and forth they were making me have to orchestrate that when I see a kid coming up on my screen. So they do this nonstop. And then I open this, I'm on Instagram, I follow this person's profile, and she's in this country, you see all her friends there, and you see a little kid at the bottom there. I didn't even notice it was there. I didn't even notice this kid was there, right? You hear me how I'm speaking, they're making me speak in different ways. And so I look at this kid, immediately make me imagine some disturbing sexual thoughts about this kid and stimulating me. Oh, the worst. When they do the combo of like the thoughts and the stimulations is the nastiest. They make me imagine some disgusting things. I don't even want to explain the thoughts, but it was disturbing about this kid that was just like playing like that. And they make me imagine this kid in these different ways. These people can make you think in these disturbing, foul ways. This is meant to break you down. The reason why I make videos, by the way, is not because I'm trying to convince people. No, it's just going. I'm trying to show the obvious pattern of what they've been doing to me. I mean, I'm getting close to 1,000 videos talking about the same thing, and I'm trying to show this is what they do. And when I speak now, I don't only speak based on my experience only. I always bring up what they do. This is why I'm bringing up these videos that you see. This is why I'm surrounded by these videos, because every time I'm going to be like, they do these things, they force you to think about children in these disturbing ways, these perverse ways towards children. And for me to have the psyops of childlike individuals, I think for me the psyops are supposed to be like, we're children, like children will not be involved in these things. Like we will not make people think about children this way, because we see the children here involved in this. Right? When in reality, yes, they use children because this is a psyop. And they try to agitate you. These same children that I hear, oh, boring, all this, that, oh, we're a psyop, are the same people that would be doing this to a woman or a child. This is so nasty. Because these government entities utilize your whole ecosystem. That's why some people think, oh, the 14-year-old kid next door is doing this thing to me. Yes, he might be involved, but because he's being told what to say and how to say it. He's involved in this, but he's not responsible for it. He's just like, they tell him to say that, be agitating, be annoying. But they're truly involved in these nasty things. This is how foul this program is. But hey, I don't care, good for this parents, great parent of the year. But the thing is with me, they think that when I see them in person, I'm going to let them live the fantasy. No. I'm taking a picture of your trash ass and putting you. And so they're even using kids like that. This kid is supposed to make me believe this isn't me. I'd rather die in hell than having to live this life. It's so sad for these people already working for pedophiles and these kids. These people do these things, pedophilia centric, to torture children and women and their kids because this technology can do everything remotely. When they tell me they're killing me, I know like a child can be killing me. So these pedophilia things they do to me is something they've been doing to others. You're gonna listen to that. I will not let them live their fantasy. They play with my libido because they can play with the sexual arousals. You're gonna listen to me, you're gonna listen to others, and it's gonna be the same thing. I will never let them live their fantasy. I don't care if I make a billion videos if I can. But I don't care if it's the same. I'm just gonna make sure that these people who do these psyops, to force you to experience these nasty things, do not escape in this fantasy they put together. By the time they're done with me, they'll know what they're part of. They understand what these people are and what they really are. A bunch of pedophiles. And you see the patterns of the pedophilia things they've been doing to people. And they try to be like, oh, there is. No, we just, yeah, okay, yeah, like, yeah, almost like all targeted individually. Yeah, the basic ass psyops. I'm sorry, they clowns too. But they're supposed to agitate you. They know the truth. They know that you're not subscribing to it because they don't even want to be seen at this point. Because immediately you see them, remember, the nasty things you guys were making. You guys are the pedos that were making me. Like, it immediately comes in. They know this. They used to be able to show themselves. But because you've been validated that they do this pedophilia type of torture, how are you gonna, you think I'm gonna be like, oh, you guys are different? You get their ears. It's so me. It just happened starting in August 19, 2019, and you guys are the top assessing analysts who don't do the pedophilia type of torture. Of course, they know I know they do the pedophilia type of torture. I've called some of them pedophiles in their faces. That's a bunch of pedos. So to all my target individuals, I'd rather die slow than live the life that these pedophiles do live and force people to experience these nasty things. As always, I'm going to show that this is not just happening to me, but there's a pattern of torment that is pedophilia centric, meant to break people down, and the psyops is supposed to make you identify to these things. Stay strong and know that justice is going to be done for the nasty things they do. It's not you when you're a child. It's not whatever. It's what they're making you experiencing. And it's disgusting, and it's pedophilia centric, and it's what they've been doing to others.
I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophiles. Like, this disgusting, disgusting, disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. I don't know how they do it. I don't care. I don't know if it's through
down tactic of belief systems and the human will. In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds.
This technology can be used to sexually manipulate the target. It can make the target feel sexual arousal or
what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams and videos in
weapons, psychotronics, slow-kill weapons. Been targeted, aggravated them with words in my mind. Hear my own voice. I said this the slaves began a program of perversion. First was with my dog. I am very playful with my pet, and suddenly one day that I was petting him I felt strange, in the sense of the word. I thought, this is strange, and then afterwards that strange sensation continue. Then in that moment I realized that was impost, so I thought, look at this losers, don't know how to put me down, and they are doing this. So I told them that I know what you are trying to do, and I started laughing, and then I said again out loud, you'll never take my will, ass. So just to show them that I meant what I said, I kept playing with my dog, and even though that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use. A people, better said young people, also children.
Day, and anytime I am awakened at night, every night. They range from mild to extreme, but usually involve daily and nightly continuous assaults for the past 3 years now. When severe, the zaps to the genitals feel as though someone is electrocuting my genitals repeatedly. I also often see highly disturbing pornographic images and videos, including highly disturbing pedophilia type of images and videos when I close my eyes. Shortly thereafter, I got my period 2 weeks early when I was usually very regular and discovered that this is one of the well-known biological effects of severe microwave radiation poisoning. Because these symptoms of sexual assault were not physiologically normal or possible without external manipulation. It is not physiologically normal to just have repeated spontaneous orgasms all through the night like that, literally one right after another. And then it all made sense when I learned about microwave weapons. In 2015, I began to experience what some call V2K, or voice to skull. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind. Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted and sexual, as well as destructive and violent. I observed one of my 3-year-old clients suddenly grab his crotch and lean forward in his chair. And then he made a frightening grimace of severe pain. I asked him what was wrong and if he needed to use the restroom, but he said no to having to use the restroom and was not able to verbalize anything more due to his language delay. He looked puzzled and bewildered. Even though I had stated that it was time to do more work right before this incident, I quickly just let him play another game, and he quickly returned to his joyful, happy self again. In other sessions, he has also grabbed his crotch and said, "ow," while looking up at me.
They're told.
By who?
By the voices, the V2K. So they'll say, we're the Russian government, we're the Chinese government, we're evil aliens, we're Satan's, satanic ritual abuse. And I've heard all these stories. One guy believed it was some 14-year-old kid with an Xbox that lived next door. The trickery really is that great when you're under hypnosis that people will believe something other than a massive government could do this. And so anyway, my interview with Len, he very well described a typical breakdown script that's used on almost all the TI victims. TI stands for targeted individuals. Some of them are pretty crazy. They have names like Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz, and those are the confusion tactics. And when they're breaking down the ego of the human through all the pains and tortures and the verbal breakdown, these are typical CIA torture scripts. I mean, Kubark manual. And they do good cop, bad cop interrogation called Jeff and Mutt, and they go right through the list, right? Just textbook. So whoever the handlers are on the other side of this synthetic telepathy, they're following the handbook perfectly. And
the Pentagon staff members or contractors had such images. In 2014, the Inspector General of the Intelligence Community found that 2 officials from the National Reconnaissance Office, which oversees America's spy satellites acknowledge viewing images of child sexual abuse during polygraph examinations. This is so disturbing. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, a top Pentagon security official, said that when workers' computers were examined, the amount of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this something that is happening for whatever reason with more frequency in our intelligence agencies, or is this something that is more pervasive in the general population than I originally realized? I mean, what's going on here? This is so bizarre. Remember, it's so evil.
Allie, we're told, and when I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking, these digital footprints, they're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks? If it were up to me, you need to go into Congress, and Congress needs to launch a brand new church committee, number one, to talk about domestic surveillance operations, but number two, to ask the question, why are there so many pedophiles sitting behind those computer screens within the walls of Langley, within the Pentagon, and throughout the broader intelligence community?